The lotus bloom is one of the most sacrosanct things to the old Egyptians, as it was one of their #1 blossoms, and it isn't without legacy scenes, and it has numerous implications beginning from life and arriving at revival, excellence and ethics, and it additionally represents the South, and the old Egyptians accepted that it was the food of the divine beings, so it was drawn on homes, burial places and sanctuary walls. The old Egyptians were continuously mulling over and mindful of what was around them, and they had confidence in the possibility of restoration and everlasting status, so they had a hypothesis of creation, which is the conviction that the Maker God emerged from the lotus blossom, then made the entire world. The antiquated Egyptians saw the existence pattern of the lotus bloom, which enlivened them to represent it as the sun plate. The old Egyptians compared the lotus bloom to the sun god, as a result of its interesting life cycle, in contrast to certain plants, as each day at the crack of dawn, the lotus blossom rises up out of underneath the water and it passes on open to get the daylight, and with nightfall the blossom returns and shuts its passes on to trust that the sun will rise in the future. The lotus blossom represented love and providing for the antiquated Egyptians, as princesses were not without the well-known bloom in their grasp, notwithstanding a portion of the divine beings who were portrayed by the pharaohs on the walls of the sanctuaries, who conveyed the lotus blossom on their heads accepting that it addressed resurrection. The bloom is popular for a few properties, including its particular fragrance, which made Egyptian ladies in the period of the pharaohs hurry to it to extricate the natural ointment from it, which is viewed as quite possibly of the best scent on the planet, to be their #1 scent. The old Egyptians utilized all that they had from nature, and saw the lotus blossom according to a strict point of view as hallowed, so they saw as nothing better to use in medication, so it was remembered for some medication concentrates to treat melancholy and tension and quiet stomach problems, and it was likewise used to treat a sleeping disorder, and it had an extraordinary situation in Old Egypt. That's what the German researcher found. Anything put on the lotus blossom falls, noticing that the lotus bloom was taken advantage of by drug organizations. He made sense of that. The German researcher Wilhelm Bartholin, a botanist, found that soil doesn't adhere to the leaves of the lotus blossom. Indeed, even sediment, soil, or dew, even the paste of water doesn't adhere to it, tentatively, so it was the incredible modern insurgency, so the English magazine The Financial Analyst called the momentum century the 100 years of the lotus blossom. The old Egyptians knew the lawful standards and basic freedoms rules that nations are concentrating on today, as it was composed on the walls of their sanctuaries and burial chambers that the old Egyptian doesn't kill, doesn't prompt homicide, doesn't commit infidelity, and doesn't want his neighbor's significant other, and since the burial chamber of Otis, and not Osiris as some articulate it, contains the heavenly courtroom, which incorporates 42 appointed authorities, and Osiris is Idris. As indicated by numerous researchers, and he is the main courier as is commonly said. What's more, as composed on the walls of the burial chamber of Odris a text read by a German botanist named Bartlott, and his entire life transformed into a tycoon after that, as the sun rises and sets, yet rises once more, and as the waterway spills over and evaporates, yet spills over once more, so man is conceived and passes on, yet is revived once more, yet he should be restored clean like the lotus blossom. At the point when the German researcher got back to his country, he started directing logical tests on a gathering of plants notwithstanding the lotus blossom. His examinations finished with a logical development that caused a horrendous logical unrest in the realm of savvy valves utilized in heart medical procedures to extend impeded supply routes, so tacky blood doesn't adhere to their walls as a therapy for strokes and coronary episodes. which made him sell this advancement for a large number of dollars until he turned into a very rich person due to the text he read on the walls of the burial place. Indeed, even vehicle-producing organizations, private structure veneer paint organizations, and others profited from these trials that utilization the lotus bloom as a concentration for logical examinations in all of this, so this large number of surfaces swim like the outer layer of the lotus blossom, and stay spotless and no leftovers of downpour, water, or whatever else stay on their surface. Maybe logical examinations and exploration all over the planet anticipated that the 21st century is the age of the lotus blossom, because of